Every year, my birthday arrived with the same strange ritual. At exactly 7 p.m., my parents would light candles on a cake. Everyone would sing. Everyone would clap. And somehow, the celebration would never actually be for me. Because my birthday was also the day my younger sister, Emily, was born. My parents called her their miracle child. I was 8 years old when it started. That year, Mom hugged me in the morning and kissed my forehead. "Happy birthday, sweetheart." I smiled. "Thank you, Mom." Then she paused and added, "But tonight is going to be very special for Emily too." I didn't understand. "Why?" Mom smiled. "Because it's her special day." I remember looking at her confused. "But it's my birthday too." She laughed softly. "I know." Then she walked away. That evening, our house was full of relatives. There were balloons, flowers, music. A huge chocolate cake sat in the middle of the dining table. I was excited. I thought maybe there would be 2 cakes. One for me, one for Emily. Instead, there was only one. And written across it in bright pink frosting were the words, "Happy Miracle Day, Emily." I stared at it. My father raised his glass. "To our miracle." Everyone cheered. Mom hugged Emily. Grandma kissed her forehead. Aunts and uncles surrounded her. I stood near the table holding the birthday card I'd received that morning. Nobody noticed that I hadn't been given a candle. I finally walked toward Mom. "Mom." She looked down. "Yes." "Where's my cake?" Her smile disappeared for half a second. Then she leaned closer and whispered, "Don't be selfish." I froze. "But she needs this more than you do." I looked at Emily. She was 8 years younger than me. She didn't understand why everyone was celebrating. She just smiled because everyone else was smiling. I nodded. "Okay." That was the first year I learned to swallow disappointment. The next year, it happened again. And the next. And the next. My birthday slowly became Emily's celebration. Every year, my parents told the same story. The doctors hadn't been sure Emily would survive. She had been born dangerously premature. There had been complications. My parents had spent weeks beside an incubator, praying she would live. She did. And from that day forward, they called her their miracle. I understood why they loved her. I understood why they were grateful. I loved Emily too. But I didn't understand why celebrating her survival required forgetting that I had been born on the same day. When I turned 10, I asked Dad if we could have a cake with both our names. He was watching television when I asked. "Maybe next year." "Why?" "Because this is Emily's special celebration." "But it's my birthday." He looked at me. "You've already had plenty of birthdays." I didn't understand what that meant. How could a child have too many birthdays? I walked away. At 11, I stopped asking. At 12, I stopped expecting. At 13, something happened that I never forgot. I came home from school on my birthday. There was a wrapped box on the kitchen counter. I thought it was for me. I opened it. Inside was a beautiful silver necklace. For Emily. Mom walked in. "Oh, you found it." I looked at her. "It's pretty." "It is." "You bought it for Emily?" "Of course." I nodded. Then Mom noticed my expression. "What's wrong?" "Nothing." "You seem upset." "I'm not." She sighed. "Please don't start this again." "Start what?" "Making everything about yourself." I looked at the necklace. "I just thought maybe." "What?" "Maybe you'd remember me too." She stared at me. Then she hugged me. "Of course we remember you." But that night, everyone celebrated Emily. Again. When I turned 16, Dad took Emily to an expensive restaurant. He said it was her miracle birthday dinner. I had been hoping we could do something together. Instead, Mom handed me $20. "Go out with your friends." I stood in the doorway. "You're not coming?" "We're taking Emily out." "On my birthday?" Mom looked annoyed. "Don't make us feel guilty." I didn't. I went upstairs. That night, I sat on my bedroom floor and listened to my family laughing downstairs. I opened my phone. My friends had sent me birthday messages. "Happy birthday. Hope you have an amazing day. Where are you celebrating?" I typed, "At home." Then deleted it. I didn't want anyone to know. When I turned 18, I thought adulthood might change things. It didn't. My parents threw a huge party. There were relatives everywhere. There was a photographer, a decorated cake, a banner. But the banner said, "Celebrating 18 years of our miracle, Emily." I stood beneath it. I was 18 years old, and it was my birthday too. An aunt approached me. "Where's Emily?" "Outside." She smiled. "She's so lucky." I nodded. Then she asked, "Are you staying for the party?" I almost laughed. "It is my party too." She stared at me. "What?" I shook my head. "Nothing." That night, after everyone left, I went upstairs. I pulled a suitcase from beneath my bed. I started packing. A few shirts, jeans, shoes, my favorite books. My hands were shaking. I was 18. I didn't know where I would go. I didn't have enough money. I didn't have a plan. So I unpacked. I put everything back. Then I sat on the edge of my bed and cried. I hated myself for crying. Because Emily hadn't done anything wrong. She hadn't asked to be born prematurely. She hadn't asked to be called a miracle. She hadn't asked our parents to choose her. But somehow, every birthday reminded me that my place in the family had become secondary to her story. Years passed. I moved away for college. I built a life of my own. I got a job. I made friends. I learned how to pay bills. I learned how to fix things. I learned how to celebrate small victories without telling my parents. But every birthday, my phone still filled with the same messages. Happy Miracle Day. Tell Emily we love her. Can't wait to celebrate. Sometimes my mother would send. Don't forget to call your sister tonight. Never. Happy birthday. Not once. I told myself it didn't matter. I bought my own cake. I lit my own candle. I made my own wishes. Eventually, I stopped telling my family what I wanted for my birthday. There was no point. Then came my 29th birthday. I woke up early. For some reason, I felt different that morning. Maybe it was because I was tired. Maybe because I had spent so many years pretending I didn't care. Maybe because I'd finally reached the age when I realized how much of my childhood I had spent waiting for someone to notice me. My phone rang. Mom. I answered. Hello. Are you coming home tonight? I hesitated. Why? It's Emily's birthday. I closed my eyes. I almost laughed. It's my birthday too. There was silence. Then Mom said, we're celebrating Emily. Something inside me broke. Not loudly. Not dramatically. It simply stopped. I looked around my apartment. There was a suitcase sitting in the closet. I'd bought it months earlier. I had never used it. Mom. Yes. I won't be there. What? I won't be coming home. Her voice changed. Don't start this again. I haven't started anything. Your sister has been looking forward to tonight. So have I. It's her special day. And mine. You're an adult. So is Emily. Don't make this about you. I stared at the wall. That sentence. Those same words. After 21 years. Mom, I said quietly. My entire life has been about making sure it wasn't about me. She went silent. I continued. I love Emily. I've never blamed her. But I'm tired of pretending it doesn't hurt. You're being dramatic. No. I looked toward the closet. I think I'm finally being honest. She sighed. What do you want us to do? I swallowed. I don't know. Then why are you making this into a problem? Because it already is one. She didn't respond. I stood. I walked to the closet. I pulled out the suitcase. For a moment, I just looked at it. Then I opened it. This time, I didn't unpack. I put clothes inside. Then my passport. My laptop. My wallet. A few photographs. I didn't know exactly where I was going. But I knew where I wasn't going. I wasn't going back to another birthday where I had to pretend being forgotten didn't hurt. Mom was still on the phone. Where are you going? I looked at the suitcase. Somewhere I can hear my own name. What does that mean? It means I'm leaving. You can't just walk away from your family. I smiled sadly. Mom, I've been standing outside the door for years. She didn't understand. I've been waiting for someone to invite me in. I zipped the suitcase. This time, I'm opening my own door. Then I hung up. I stood in my apartment surrounded by everything I had built without them. For the first time, I wasn't thinking about Emily. I wasn't thinking about the cake. I wasn't thinking about the relatives. I wasn't thinking about who would be angry. I was thinking about one simple question. What would my life look like if I stopped waiting for my family to choose me? I didn't know the answer yet. But I was finally ready to find out that I didn't know the answer yet. But I was finally ready to find out. I left my apartment with one suitcase, my passport, and a feeling I couldn't quite name. It wasn't anger. It wasn't sadness. It was relief. I drove without a destination for almost an hour. Then I remembered something I had wanted to do for years. Travel. Not a weekend away. Not a trip where I spent the entire time checking my phone to see if someone needed me. I wanted to disappear somewhere beautiful and learn what it felt like to belong only to myself. I stopped at a roadside cafe and opened my laptop. I searched for places to stay. A small coastal town caught my attention. It was several hours away. There was an oceanfront cottage available for a week. I booked it. Then I turned off my phone. For the first time in years, I didn't care whether anyone was trying to reach me. When I arrived that evening, the sun was setting over the water. The cottage was tiny, but it had a porch facing the ocean. I carried my suitcase inside. Then I stood there in silence. No family. No relatives. No birthday cake for Emily. No one telling me to stop being selfish. Just waves, wind, and me. I sat on the porch until the sky became dark. At midnight, I opened the small cake I'd bought from a grocery store. It wasn't beautiful. It wasn't decorated with flowers. It didn't say Miracle Day. It simply said, Happy Birthday. I lit one candle. Then I whispered, Happy Birthday to me. And I cried. But this time, the tears weren't the same. For years, I had cried because I felt invisible. That night, I cried because I finally saw myself. The next morning, I woke up to 27 missed calls. Mom, Dad, Emily, my brother, aunts, cousins. Apparently, my disappearance had become the new family emergency. I almost laughed. My whole life, nobody had noticed when I quietly disappeared inside myself. Now that I had physically left, everyone suddenly wanted answers. I didn't call anyone back. Instead, I walked along the beach. I bought coffee from a little cafe. I sat outside. I watched strangers live their ordinary lives. And for once, I wasn't wondering what my family was doing. I was wondering what I wanted. That question felt unfamiliar. So I started small. I wanted to travel. I wanted to learn photography. I wanted to take cooking classes. I wanted to see the ocean in winter. I wanted to stop apologizing whenever I needed something. I wanted to celebrate my birthday without feeling guilty. By the end of the week, I had filled an entire notebook. When I finally turned my phone back on, there was a message from Emily. Please call me. I need to talk to you. I stared at it for a long time. Then I called. She answered immediately. Are you okay? Yes. Where are you? By the ocean. There was silence. You really left? Yes. Because of me? No. But it happened because of my